unaona. So I think same na men now. I think we are in a competition of to show who is more masculine than the other, that we forget that the aspect of who we are as a community is holding hands. Unaona vile ulikuwa unaniambia like you achieved something that blew your mind off. Do you know men kitambo walikuwa wanasupportiana hivyo. Say for example, I know Lucheli loves cars and Lucheli is dying to have a car this year. I'll go out of my way just to make sure that he can get a car. Si lazima nikuwa na kucontribute ya pesa, but I might go and bargain a car for you. Ilikuwa ikiuzwa 1500, ukuje uziwe 1200. Nikwambia Lucheli, kumbuka ulikuwa unataka ile gari. Kuna place nimepata ya 500k but nimekuongelelea utapata na tuso. And there is genuinity in that because I want to see you achieve a dream. And then down the line you know pengine me I desperately need to own a piece of land.
Yeah.
So whenever you are going out there, you have my best interest at heart.
Yeah.
No. So you go there, you're like upate a piece of land costing this amount of money, you bargain it like it's your own. You get it at a lower price and you come and tell me, you remember you've been telling me you need to own a piece of land. So I've gotten this for you. No. Like I don't think nowadays communities tuko na ile oneness yenye ilikuwa before them. Because if you remember, I don't know if you used to go to Shago back in the day, where watu wakianza kulima shamba, every man in the village, like whatever direction, how many homestead, 10, 20, they come together, they dig your home today and then kesho wanaenda kwa home mwingine hivyo. And the only thing your grandparents needed to provide was food, lunch. And the first time I experienced that, it was so profound because the best part was not even the work part. It was the conversations when guys were taking their land. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. Welcome to Wakilisha Podcast. Welcome to another episode. This is episode number 34. Today, tuko na your co-host, ama my co-host, the man with the most,
Lucheli mwenyewe.
Yeah. So Lucheli, tuambie, how has it been?
So far the days are going by. 2026 nimekuwa niko fiti on my end. God ako fiti sidi yangu, nothing sickness, nothing to worry, can't complain. Vitu zina flow to smooth. So sijui sidi yako.
Pia mimi nimekuwa fiti. So this week let's start off by me asking you something totally different. What was your major accomplishment of 2025?
Ziko most.
Angalia tu wenye ulikuwa unadhani. Okay. Let me put it in a perspective. Did you achieve something you never thought like you could achieve? Ama you are not like mentally ulikuwa unadhani it was unachievable but somehow you made it and achieved that? Ama you began the process of achieving that?
So mine, I'll say the particular one, I'll say that is not something that I ever thought that neza possess. But vitu zilifanyika in their own ways. Taki kuisema though,
Okay.
but it's something that I never even imagine last year unaweza ipata,
but you got it.
but nilipata.
So did that make you feel like getting that emotional strength ya kusikia like okay, there is the part where uko happy uko na hiyo kitu, but there is that satisfaction of kumbe naweza make it, like si ku make it in the real true sense but kumbe I can do it. No. So the reason as to why I'm asking you that is because sometimes which brings us to the topic of the day, mental health.
Yeah.
So last year and part of these early years, sijui kama umekuwa ukisikia the stories of people unaliving themselves
Yeah.
se,
Yeah,
si
per se.
ndio? And some of those reasons come about because of their mental state, si ndio?
Yeah.
And most people, especially in our cultures, African culture, mental health and whatever, anything that to do with mental, that if it's not like a visible sickness, if you can't see it,
Yeah.
you can't visualize the pain that is behind it, sindio? And we tend not to talk about these things, but the reason as to why I asked you about your biggest achievement is that also gives you a higher strength in terms of mental strength, because when you achieve something, you become losing that mentality like you're a failure. There is that also mentality where you think like you can't do it, sindio?
Kweli.
So when you achieve something, there is this something that happens to your mental faculties, like you think you no longer see something yenye ni kitu kubwa sana. You know, you're like it's a matter of time, I can do it, because you're like kanilipata ile kitu, ama because I achieved that goal, even this one is easy to do.
Yeah. On it naweza sema you know, so for me what I achieved last year, I told you something that I got in possession of.
Okay.
It's not something that I would have thought like last year ningeachieve, considering na venye mwaka yangu ilikuwa inaenda, but ni kitu nilikuwa nimesema maybe one day maybe in the near future nitawai. So it made me think sometimes huwa tuna overvalue
Okay.
stars,
Okay.
because I'm thinking on that day, you know, nilikuwa so excited, anxious ni nini, finally hii kitu inaenda kuhappen.
Yeah.
And then like after 2 weeks 3 weeks by it becomes
it's
like
no longer, it's like but then that is,
it's a kawaida thing yani,
unajua,
kwani we pressure
not just now, that
it's
is
like
the
we are
thing.
putting value like
Unaona, ndio nilikuwa naambia msaid, I remember, I don't know if it's Joey or whoever it is we were discussing with, but the discussion was like tunajipeanga pressure with so many things. In what term? Like sometimes unaonanga like, okay, for example, mi napenda gari tuseme, I love cars, and one of my biggest achievement doesn't really matter if I have a home or not, would be to own a car.
Okay.
Sindio? So you have this pressure, like unaona it's like the end of the world if you do not own a car. Unaona, or a specific brand of car, which is good because it means that you get to have this dream come true. But then again, I also now tukiongelea nilikuwa nauliza huo msee, do you know that whatever you think like you really need, you don't need it?
Yeah.
Aniuliza why, nikamwambia because the day I get the car, it's no longer as valuable as I thought. It was only valuable because I didn't own it
at, at the time.
sindio?
Yes.
Ndio sana, so
and it's the same feeling. Wacha niongele vitu basic, like simple things. You know, sometimes when you want to buy things like phones, or even shoes, unajiambia mimanze John, napiga hesabu mi nikipata jodo fulani, let's say Jordan 4, nipata Jordan 4, mi sasa story sijui ya nini nitakuwa satisfied in terms of story ya viatu. And then unakama unapata na Jordan 4 na buy, unatembea like 2-3 weeks, and then you feel like what was the pressure for? It's just another shoes like canvas or whatever. Ni wote mtembee mgutupu. Understand?
You know, I think like a week ago, me and Joey and some other guys were having a discussion, and the discussion was, how much do you need to live comfortably? This is a question I asked, okay? Wakasema you don't really need, like, okay, you need a lot, okay? Nikaambia no. Nikamuliza I need a number. Na wanakata kabisa wanasema. So I asked them, I need you to tell me a number that if my bank account today reads this number, I don't have to wake up and go to work. I don't have to worry about bills or anything. Nikauliza, is there a number? Yes. Nikauliza, but kuna ile but. So I was asking them, is it that we really need them, ama is it that our like human nature has evolved to a point where we are too greedy to appreciate the things we already have, that we need more than we can even use? Because nilikuwa namuulizana, you get to have 50 cars, you get to have 50 pair of shoes, like I was telling you on the other pod. You get to have so many things, but how many of those can you use at a go? You only get to wear one piece. Sindio?
Yeah.
Even a suit, a good suit, you get to wear one piece a day.
Yeah.
And if maybe you are a businessman who needs to be in different places at a go, you get to maybe put on 2 suits, one for this meeting, another one for another meeting, depending on the occasion and whatever business it is that you're doing.
Yes.
The car, you only get to drive one. And imagine you have a car, you have 50 cars, and maybe you have a wife, you have even 10 kids, let's say 10 kids. Do you really realize that you still have more cars parked somewhere that none of you are even driving?
Yeah.
So at what point does it become greed, and at what point does it become a necessity? And that, so hiyo ndo likuwa nasema, I think that is one of the causes of mental instability, and that is why we are seeing so many cases, because kuna hii mentality ya vile ulisema, ukibayo jodo ukivaa 2 weeks, the value inaisha. Kwa nini? Because something else came out. Sasa unataka kuvaa hizi, sindio?
Unataka hizi
sasa ukitoka kwa hizi unataka canvas, unataka Vans, yani like every day you need something, but do you really need that thing?
No.
Sindio? So this comes in down to what we were talking about the mental health and what. So nilikuwa nakaa chini nauliza, why is it that so many people are committing suicide? And if you look behind most cases, are people with okay, tuseme people with means. I don't want to say they are rich or wealthy, but they are people with means that are doing these things. And you wonder, because all of us, I don't want to say like okay, sisi wote hatujamake, we are still coming up in what the financial sense, in the like every aspect of life, sindio? So for us, we think like kupata do ndio kukuwa na success, ama kukuwa na ile mental peace ya I can relax now, I don't have to worry about anything. But on this other hand, these same people are the same people coming to the table and committing suicide and doing some other weird stuff, and you're like, okay, what happens if you get money? Is it really the cause of happiness, or what is the cause of happiness? Like, what do you think gives you that contentment where you say like, okay, I'm good, I might not have this, I may not have that, but I'm okay at this point in life?
Yeah, me, I'll speak about contentment in terms of having enough for you. So sometimes I think we think having a lot, venye tu umesema, having more is wealthy.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can have one car, and instead of having like 20 cars, you can and be content in the one car.
Yeah.
Because no one cares, like for example, how many cars you have. Yeah, so for me, I'll say it's very important to be contented with what you have. Having a lot also does not guarantee you happiness in any way. Yeah. You have seen people who have a lot na like the recent case tumekuwa I think ni all intumia. I forgot the guy's name. You have seen that guy, he was wealthy.
Yeah, he was
really,
a CEO,
really wealthy.
And I'm wondering,
And
if a CEO is committing suicide,
and if people they link wealth to happiness, or wealth to contentment, then I think we are wrong somewhere, because it doesn't guarantee you happiness. You can have less and be contented and be happy. So also happiness has a different definition, you know. Finding happiness in small things, it really matters a lot. It doesn't mean that lazim I need to have like a lot, I need to have a lot of wealth, I need to have cars to guarantee me happiness. But also it's important also to have resources,
Yeah.
they really play like a huge part of happiness. So sometimes we have this notion that can money really buy you happiness?
It can't buy you happiness,
It
but
can't.
it can create a soft flow of things for you.
Yeah,
I'll not even say a soft life, because sometimes you might have everything,
but it's
but
not.
your health is out of
Yeah.
out of commission. So you're constantly in pain, you're constantly on hospital beds and whatnot, and even with all that, people would say, I would trade all this just for a healthy day, just to
Yeah.
live for one day pain free. So now let's see what they define as mental health. Okay. So what is mental health? They are saying that mental health is a state of well-being where you can handle stress, use your abilities, work or study, and contribute to your community.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next part, they say it exists on a continuum from doing well to struggling to experiencing a mental health condition such as anxiety or depression. You understand those explanation, but this is what I want you to pick from this. They are saying it's the ability to use, it is the ability to use your abilities to work or study to contribute to the community. So my second question is, do you think that the community is the reason as to why there is such a big decline in mental health, or there is so much more cases of mental health issues now than there were in the past?
Yes.
And speaking like this, I don't have the data to compare, but what we can constantly see, because it might be even back then the state was worse, but because we didn't have these social media platforms where we get to see the news firsthand, it was just passed through word of mouth. It could be now that we are seeing these cases here and there, but if you start seeing these cases, it reflects a bigger space in the community, where other people who are not on the social media platforms or as known as these people are going through these things, and because they are, lack of a better word, no one in the society, no one gets to know about these issues. Okay. So do you think the community contributes a lot towards the decline of mental health?
Yeah. I do agree, because like, especially if I was to compare the modern and the older, let's say the new and the old generation.
Okay.
So like kitambo, people, they used to find happiness in the very small things.
Yeah.
There wasn't like this pressure that for example, let's say you need how many 10 pairs of kicks, wherever. People used to walk like barefoot. Watoto walikuwa wanaendanga shule like with one cloth for the whole term. But now you find like case and point, I'll speak for my case. I have a niece who has some few pairs that she has to keep on changing going to school. But if I was when I was speaking to my grandfather, how like wasemaga, hey, you guys are really lucky nowadays that whereby you can have to change this, au sometimes hata kufua walikuwa narudianga hizo manguo, but they never thought they never thought of it like there's a pressure to impress or pressure to, for them it was just about living life and just being happy. On the case of, you're speaking now about how community affects, is that nowadays tumeset bar na standards ziko very high.
Okay.
That's why even you find it affects both genders.
Okay.
Specific for men.
Okay.
In terms of opening up, you'll find like in most of the cases, I think the number has risen for men who are committing suicide.
Very high, actually.
Yeah, actually in this generation than before.
Yeah.
And if you come to hear of the reasons, like they really shook you in terms of unaona ni vitu zenye wase wagiongea. I could have been a listening ear, ungekuja uniambie tu ni hivi, maybe even I might not be in a, let's say if it requires finances, I'm not in a good position maybe to help you financially, but just me giving you a listening here and you opening up na kuwa too vulnerable and telling me your side of the story, I can choose where and kwambie so for me what I think you can do, maybe you can do without this and this for the sake of today and tomorrow, and with time utakuja overcome whatever you're going through. So people they tend nowadays kusema sijui atia stori za masculinity, mwanaume afai kuongea like same like kitambo na nyamaza nayo na kufa nayo, so there's nothing ya kufa nayo. I think we need to create a communities which will help us like to open up, because people I think we all have emotions, na wezi sema ati you're just that one perfect guy. Mi hiyo kitu inaitwa emotions, hiyo nilikill. Sometimes there are places that require logic, but being human we are all of emotions, so inategemeanga of which levels you are.
You know, I think when you said about your niece, it triggered something in my mind, and I was thinking, do you think choices are some of the reason as to where we have a decline in mental health? Because I think lack of those so many choices give you like you don't have to constantly think about what choice you're going to make. You already know. It's like you don't have to make a choice. It's this or nothing else. No, because I think on the case of your niece, let's say for example she has 10 shoes, okay? And this comes in from the point of akienda shule leo, say for example they are allowed to wear different colors. Say for example now today it's one of those schools where you don't have to have a uniform, so you wear a very nice outfit and some pink shoes, okay? And maybe you like these pink shoes, they feel comfortable to your shoes, you walk well in them, you don't get tired. And then every outfit she does, she has to do with the pink shoes, and then now the mental strains comes from there, her peers. Like, when you guys, how poor are you, can't you afford another pair of shoes? And maybe she has more than they do, but because of that fact of her feeling comfortable in these shoes, now she starts feeling like she needs to impress people, and now she starts to like jioni akifika home badala ya kurelax from a very hard day and unwind, she has to now start thinking about tomorrow's outfit.
Yeah,
you know. So these are unnecessary pressures. They are things that do not contribute anyway to her life or the betterment of her life. But because of the social pressures, you find now she's even becoming depressed out of things that do not really make sense. Unaona? So I think same na men now, I think we are in a competition of to show who is more masculine than the other, that we forget that the aspect of who we are as a community is holding hands. Unaona vile ulikuwa unaniambia like you achieved something that blew your mind off. Do you know men kitambo walikuwa wanasapotiana hivyo. Say for example, I know Lucheli loves cars and Lucheli is dying to have a car this year. I'll go out of my way just to make sure that he can get a car. Si lazima nikuwa na kucontribute ya pesa, but I might go and bargain a car for you. Ilikuwa ikiuzwa 1500, ukuje uziwe 1200. Nikwambia Lucheli, kumbuka ulikuwa unataka ile gari. Kuna place nimepata ya 500k, but nimekuongelelea utapata na tuso. And there is genuinity in that, because I want to see you achieve a dream. And then down the line, you know, pengine me, I desperately need to own a piece of land. So whenever you're going out there, you have my best interest at heart. No. So you go there, you're like, upate a piece of land costing this amount of money, you bargain it like it's your own, you get it at a lower price, and you come and tell me, you remember you've been telling me you need to own a piece of land, so I've gotten this for you. No. Like, I don't think nowadays communities tuko na ile oneness yenye ilikuwa before then. Because if you remember, I don't know if you used to go to Shago back in the day, where watu wakianza kulima shamba, every man in the village, like whatever direction, how many homestead, 10, 20, they come together, they dig your home today, and then kesho wanaenda kwa mwingine hivo. And the only thing your grandparents needed to provide was food, lunch. And the first time I experienced that, it was so profound, because the best part was not even the work part, it was the conversations when guys were taking their lunch. No, ama the moment between waiting for this lunch to get ready and taking the lunch, that the conversations were so profound that you understood that people really do talk about the issues. When unakumbuka ukisema when you have issues, personal issues, where you get to air them and get different opinions, those were the places where that used to happen. But nowadays we do not have forums where we can come together as a community. We only come to compare who is more successful than the other. No. I know now it becomes a toxic environment, lack of a better word, where you can't you can't express how you feel because the people that you want to express to are busy judging you. Unaona? Busy comparing, because utapata leo umeniambia something very personal to you, and sorry because we are doing a pod but I'll say it, then you find it on a pod the next week and you're like, ngoja, why would you do that? Because kama sahi in the current nini whatever economic weather ama structure, everyone is trying to monetize everything, to the fact that tumeondoa hiyo human aspect to come together, talk about stuff. And then unajua kuna ile pia privacy, you know this is not something I want to talk about in such a setting. Okay, this is for this person and me, and it's my job to help them overcome this. Because what people forget is, just because today Lucheli has a mental health issue doesn't mean tomorrow I won't have one. And me helping you overcome that gives me a friend that I can come to talk to tomorrow when I'm having the same mental breakdown. You know, and how I treat you now, the dignity I accord you during that time that I'm helping you with yours, determines the amount of dignity you will accord me during my time. No. Because if I go spreading around your issues, trust me, even if I come with my issues, you won't give me, like, you know, that personal attention to really understand what I'm going through and want to help me. That won't be one of those things that you do, kwa sababu kwako utakuwa like, this first of all is not a trustworthy person. How do I trust whatever he's telling me is genuine? No. So now coming to this point, ndo unasikia, I remember a pod back, I was telling you there was this guy in Nyeri who just left a business that is working well and everything, and he just said, he wrote a note saying, I'm done. And he left. You know, and you wonder, like, why would you just sacrifice the sweat and tears that goes to beginning a business, stabilizing that business and making it a success, just to walk away? You know, it's like this person had compared the level at which he is, ako like at the end of the rope. It's either he dies or he walks away, and he chose to walk away. But personal opinion, I don't think we should ever get to that point if we have people around us, or we have a community around us. So it can't be like we only do this together, but when I have a personal issue, I can't come to you for advice necessarily. And then again, I think people monetized everything, that whenever I come to tell you I have this problem, sometimes I don't need money, I just need your personal opinion on it. What do you think about it? If it was you in that position, what would you do? You know, and sometimes I just need a listening ears, because sometimes if you sound your problem to someone else, they seem less bigger than they are in your head. So that being said, what do you think are the things we can do as a community? Because now we have online communities, we have job communities, and all sorts of communities. And like kitambo, where we had just a regular community at home, where you were given birth, you grew up, you interacted with the people around. Now because urbanization and whatnot, jobs and stuff, you get to travel to different areas, go to different localities, different cultures, communities, and interact and stay even in those communities. Okay. So what do you think are some of the things we can come up with, or the methods or strategies to create an environment where everyone feels safe enough, especially for men. Let's talk for men.
Especially for men, what I'll say, what I'll especially advise men when it comes to those who have moved abroad. So what happens, especially during the first year, you find that people are very isolated, because when they come to these other areas, it's not the environment they're used to.
Okay.
Like back then home, you're used to, like ukitoka job, you can go meet your friends, uncle, families, relatives, nini, you have people to go to. And even if you don't, like there are always people coming to you. But now you see, when you're living, like for example in these areas, what really happens is that it's just you and work.
Okay.
So slowly by slowly you start feeling like, I'm not used to this. The first year inakuanga a very hard year for anyone who is relocating, especially in Kuwait. Men, like unapatanaga na msee unamuuliza mwaka ya kwanza, how was your first year? Sasa naanza kuambia, what experience, nothing like I've ever thought or imagined before. That naweza kuwa isolated in this way, whereby it's just me, my room and work. So communities, importance of communities, they give you that sense of belonging. So even not only, for example, this side, but back home, the people who keep you in check, for example, because they know you very well, and they'll notice if you're going off grid of what they know you are capable of or who you are. So for case and point, ni kama for example, for me I don't drink, but I'll use it as an example. I don't drink, but I'll use it as an example. Unaweza imagine sasa enje wanza kuchekwa mimi unanipataga na siku hizi unalewa sana, unaniuliza Lucheli. It's not that I'm saying drinking is a bad thing. I'm just using an example because I don't. So
everyone has a capacity of measurement.
Yeah, unaanza kunipata Lucheli, this is not your norm. I know you as a fit guy, you don't drink a lot. So what's happening? Just because you observing that I'm drinking, it means that there has to be something disturbing me mental.
Yeah.
Because people, they tend to think that wherever they're having mental breakdown, alcohol is the one. Now wacha nikunywe nijisahau, and then nikiamka, unasahau ni kama hizo shida hazitakuwa zimeenda mahali. Yes, unakuja unarudia tu zinaendelea place zilikuwa. So community of people, like having a community helps them to keep you in check. They also, people who know your interest and know what you want in life, they'll at least try to help you to move towards that goal. Sometimes, for example, let's say the other part tuko tunaongelea what kitambo people used to do in terms of empowerment.
Yeah.
Creating wealth is not easy if you're going it on a solo.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, so you need you join hands, because in togetherness you can do more.
Yeah.
So having a community, they help you. For example, they'll keep you aligned in your goals, they'll keep you in check. For example, maybe sometimes mtu atakwambia mi nakwambia nje, let me remind you remember 2023 you're telling me that you need to have this. I hope hujasahau your dream bado.
Yeah.
We need to be chasing that dream.
Yeah.
So at least inaonyesha you still have my interest at heart. I mentioned it, but maybe nilikuwa nafika mali nafikiria, unajua hata saa hii maybe naanza kuzeeka.
Yeah.
I can kill that thing, but sure. For someone to mention it, that they still remember, it means your importance of that person.
Yeah, they value you. So for me, as we wrap this up, I think what I will say is, first and foremost, you need to create a community around you.
Yeah.
Not your family, necessarily not your friends, but a community of like-minded individuals who will hold you to a higher standard than you hold yourself. Okay? People who will remind you of your worth, people who are willing to drop anything, like nikikupigia saa 8 ya usiku nikwambia hey Lucheli, I need you, kuja. You don't need to ask kwa nini. You are like 10 minutes niko hapo, wacha to discuss hiyo kwa nini when you're there.
Yeah.
Why? Because we have come to a point where the only people surrounding you are the people who want something from you or they can gain something from you, but genuinely hakuna mtu ako hapo to make sure you are good as a person, like without, bila Lucheli kunipatia
without
kitu,
any favor
bila
or
kugain anything from him. If he calls me today aniambie nakutaka hapa, do you know, if you call saizi upigie msee, the first thing they ask you ni hey, rada nimeshikwa, okay, umefanya nini? Very few people will tell you uko wapi.
Hey, you know, umeshikwa, nimeshikwa.
Unamwambia niko kama Kabete police station, akwambia okay 10 minutes nitakuwa hapo. It's very rare for you to find such a kind of a person. So what I'll tell our Wakilisha family is create a community for yourself of like-minded individuals, okay? And sometimes if that is what you need to be mentally stable, cut off some people from your life.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if they're blood, doesn't matter if they're colleagues. If every time you associate with these people, when you leave their space you feel worse off than you went there, you don't need to be in that space. Sindio?
Yeah.
So as we wrap this up, let our viewers tell us what they think about the mental health issue, ama what would be the cause as to why those cases are rising, and what are those things that we can do to curb this rise of mental health issues and suicide levels. Okay, so as we end, Lucheli, uzia watu merchandise bana.
Wasi Lucheli hapa kaa kawaida venye miwaambia stories za merchandise. Please always reach out. Kuna namba huwa tuna display hapo chini. Anything unataka, whether it's a t-shirt, a hoodie, anything unataka, especially sahi kusurprise msee on Valentines, please feel free to reach out kwa hiyo number, na tuta reply on the spot.
Kuna msee alikuwa ananiuliza akitaka kucustomiziwa according to pengine, okay, anataka mwandikie message, mumwekea picture, anything. Do you offer that service?
Yeah, we offer that one. Okay. We offer that one to stay print.
Okay.
Kama anataka ni message iandike kwa t-shirt, we do that. We also do those ones. Okay. Especially to your beloved ones. You know, Valentine's haimaanishi like it's only about people who are in love. Yeah, you can also send it to a friend as a sign of love. Love, I think, is a big word. So thank you guys. It has been a pleasure to have you here on set. Whatever you need us to talk about more in the next episode, please feel free to reach out on the comment section. Adios.
Bye bye.